Greetings, it's Iain from RTO here. Welcome to a new album review, and today we've got a band from my teen years. It's the mighty Girlschool, formed in the late 70s. Absolutely iconic band. I've seen them, they are just brilliant. And they have just released their 14th studio album, and it's called What the 45. So it's 45 years since they started making music, and it's their first album since 2015's Guilty as Sin. The band now are King, obviously Kelly's no longer with us, so the band is Kim McAuliffe on guitars and vocals, the ever-present Denise Dufort, who's still rocking, Jackie Chambers on the guitars, and Tracy Lamb on the bass. So I thought, when I got this album, I thought, now is it? Am I going to be disappointed, or have they returned to something of the past? Well, I wasn't disappointed. First track up is called It Is What It Is. What an opening track. It's got a great bass line from Tracy, absolutely killer. In come the guitars of Kim and Jackie, and the vocal, I don't know what Kim's been doing since 2015, but her voice has, I've listened to Guilty as Sin, and her voice has changed, and for the better. I don't know what she's been doing, but it sounds great. And Denise on the drums is just still banging out. This is a lady in her 60s, and she's still hitting them drums as hard. Great track to open the album with. Then we get Cold Dark Heart, another killer track, and the highlight is Denise's drumming, really heavy. Again, Kim's on fire on the vocal, absolutely good old-fashioned heavy metal. That's what I can call it, good old-fashioned heavy metal, and I love that sound, really good. Bump in the Night, another solid track, great guitar riffs, and Kim's voice is that lovely tone that she's got, and that sort of aggressive sound, absolutely brilliant. Then we have a track called Barmy Army, more killer riffs. It's got a real groove. It's got a great guitar solo on this. I'm not sure if it's Kim or Jackie, but boy is it good. You know, it amazes me to see these. I mean, these are not young ladies now. They are in their autumn years, and they're still playing some great music. It's an absolutely terrific track. Invisible Killer, it isn't too bad. It's solid. It's not one of my favourites, but it's still listenable. Believing in You, Tracy's bass work on this is terrific. You've got Kim screeching away. She can still sing as good as anyone. And Denise, that power riff drumming, that she's good. It's a Mess. It's not too bad. It's a little bit one of the weaker tracks. Then we have Into the Night. I love all the riffs on this. Proper heavy metal, proper 1980s heavy metal riffs, and it sounds absolutely stunning stuff. I love that track. Then we have Are You Ready featuring Joe Stump. He plays in Alcatraz. He's a good guitarist as well, and this is great. It's just good, again, adding another guitar in it. It sounds great. It's just, if you say heavy metal, this says what heavy metal is. It's still as good as it was in the 1980s. Up to No Good, one of the lot. Sounds very. This is going to be a classic, I think. The fans will love this. It's typical sort of lyrics from the Girlschool. Takes me back to my teen years. It is great, absolutely terrific. Party. Again, it just goes back to those early years, 1980, 81, at the beginning of the new wave of British heavy metal. And this is why I'm a fan of this band still. I think they can still crank out some absolute killer tracks. And the last track is a Motorhead cover. Now, Motorhead used to cover Girlschool tracks, and they were friends, and they made that Please Don't Touch EP. And they do a version of Born to Raise Hell. And they got some of their friends involved. We got Phil Campbell, of course, who was the guitarist of Motorhead. Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses, and vocals done by the Mighty Saxons Biff Byford. And it's a killer track. It's absolutely brilliant version of it. I just love that they still have got their little homage to Lemmy, and it is absolutely brilliant. I mean, I love the track anyway, Born to Raise Hell. It's one of the newer classics that Motorhead did. But this version's as good. You know, I think it helps. You got Phil there playing the lead, and it's pretty good. Biff does a great vocal, still a strong singer. Another man that's been rocking since the 80s. It's just a great way to end the album. As you know, I have been a fan of this band since the year dot, and they're still cranking it out, and I really enjoy this album. It took me back to my youth. It's a good old-fashioned heavy metal played in the 1980s, vamped for the 21st century. It's absolute killer album. They haven't lost their touch. And if you are a Girlschool fan from the old days, go and check this out because it's worth it. It's an absolute brilliant little album. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, got another album review today, two today, and we're going to have next one is Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen's second album. Will it live up to the of his first album, which was an absolute brilliant album? So that's coming up next. So bye for now.